Welcome back to Speak Van Horton 247, etc. And if you like, subscribe and share. We all know that Gunnar, Young Thugg, and other YSL members have been indicted up under the Rico charges. But what a lot of people don't understand is this. The feds don't even have a real Rico case against Young Thugg, Gunnar, and YSL. But they brought the Rico charge against them in order to build it. Let me explain how they are building this Rico case. The first thing that they needed to do was prevent Young Thug, Gunnar, and other YSL members from making bond. By doing this, you put everybody in a desperate situation. You have a perfect situation for plea bargain, proffers, turning state evidence. Now, when you put people in this situation, what the prosecutor is doing with their investigators, they're going back and forth to each of these members. They essentially are lying to them and scaring them. So, in bringing this misinformation back to them, they are hoping that these members give written statements and agree to testify for a lenient sentence or a limited amount of immunity or a favorable sentence. Now, I'm going to take you back to the judge dealing with Young Thug bond hearing. If you notice the way his body language was, his flippant attitude, the roll of his eyes, he was already telling Young Thug and his lawyer, nothing that you say is going to make me grant bond. It's a foregone conclusion. I already concluded not to give him bond. This right here carries over to potential jurors. When that judge did this on TV, he told the public, potential jurors, that they should find this man guilty. They don't want really nobody but Young Thug. They don't even want Gunnar. They want Young Thug. This is why they say they have proffers. I'm going to tell you what a proffer is in a minute. But let me get back to the bond hearing. There was no legal justification for denying either one of Gunnar or Young Thug bond. What the prosecutor did was state that, hey, look, Young Thug is the leader. He's dangerous. And he should either threat to the community. But here's what the problem is. If a person is presumed innocent until proven guilty, that should not have precluded him from getting a bond. But this is how they play. This is how they set you up for a guilty verdict, by denying you bond based on you're a threat to the community, you're a flight risk, or you may witness tamper. These are all speculations, but they use it to deny bond. This is one of the corrupt things that our criminal justice system have. It's straight corruption. Because if the purpose of bail is to secure you coming to court, why are you bringing these other speculations to light? This is a prelude to a guilty verdict. Now, I'm only saying that they are prepping society to accept and to view these men as guilty. That's because they don't have a true RICO charge. What they have is regular criminal charges that they can't prove. But under the RICO charge, they can just throw it together and make you believe that they are proving their case. But here's where it's going to come down as. They have to find a jury that's willing to accept what the prosecutor and their witnesses are saying. If the jury don't believe them, it's going to be a not guilty verdict. But now let me get back to proffers. When the prosecutors, or one of the prosecutors of the federal government, say they have proffers by people to substantiate a lot of things they saying. A proffer is an agreement by a defendant that could be in that case, charged in that case, or it could be just somebody up under investigation that has knowledge about YSL that can bear on the criminal case to help them. They agree to give testimony and tell all that they know about YSL or some of the crimes that they allegedly have done for limited immunity or favorable sentencing. Now, the problem with these type of proffers is that they are suspect. In other words, people can make stuff up to put them in a favorable situation. And I believe it's going to come down to YSL members giving these proffers or those that willing to turn state. I don't think a jury really is going to find that credible. What they're doing is taking, like he was in jail, they taking certain things that he said in jail as though in furtherance of a Rico. That's nonsense, because they don't have a serious Rico charge. This is why they keep doing the wiretapping. They want to take different isolated incidents and say, look, see, he's telling them to do this. He's telling them to do this here. If they had a real case, they wouldn't be doing that. The whole case is predicated on keeping these ignorant black men locked up and play them against one another. That's their whole Rico charge. Apparently, it seems to be working, but once again, it's going to come down to a jury. Now, when they get to the jury, I'm going to tell you what the federal government is going to try to do. They looking for pretty much an all-black jury. I believe that they are going to have probably 3 white people in there, but they're targeting certain blacks that don't like rap and they know this by certain questions that they ask the jurors. You may not recognize. I'm going to give you some of the questions that they'll ask them. They'll ask them questions such as what type of music they listen to. Are they familiar with rap? Do they like rap? Then they go based on their income, their religion. And what they'll try to pretty much do is look for people in well-to-do neighborhoods to be on the jury, because they know that these people really can't identify with what's going on the streets to understand the lingo and the way things operate. So basically, they're looking for an ignorant jury to make an ignorant decision. Like I said, they have prepped society and they have prepped potential jurors to find these men guilty. This is why they're bringing so many charges against Young Thugg. Once again, they don't care about nobody else but Young Thugg. They want Young Thugg. That's what this is about. This is why they have to make him the ringleader. They want him not because he's the ringleader and guilty of Rico charge, because they want to look good in society by saying, look, we took down a celebrity, another celebrity. It's not about justice, people. It's not about justice. They denied, this is similar to R. Kelly, where they denied this man bond, saying he was a flight risk. Anybody's a flight risk. I don't care if I got a $5,000 bond. I'm a flight risk. I don't care if you have a misdemeanor. You're a flight risk. All of it is nonsense, because they know if you keep somebody locked up, you can give the appearance that they are guilty and they should be found guilty. And this is why they doing this to Young Thugg and Gunnar. But once again, the prosecutor don't want nobody. They don't even care about the other YSL members. They just need them to build a case against Young Thugg. That's who they want. They want Young Thugg. And if you can't see it, you'll never see it. Now, I'm not saying that Young Thugg is innocent of anything, and I'm not saying that he's guilty of anything, because I haven't heard any evidence. See, I take the law very seriously when you're dealing with people's rights. Now, when you have people turning state, their testimony is always suspect. And I'm going to put it like this here. Anybody turning state, I don't see why anybody would believe the testimony that they're giving, because you are giving it under duress in order to save your ass. So the jury can choose to believe it or not believe it. The pivotal point of this trial is going to rest on who's pointing the finger at Young Thugg. Plain and simple. Truth be told, the Rico law is a law that is unconstitutional. is detrimental to any and everybody because it is a tool to use when a prosecutor know it can't prove its crime. It allows it to prove a crime in a twisted way. And I'm going to give you a prime example. Let's say you're not a part of YSL, but Young Thugg have invited you to parties, invited you to business ventures. They can get you for association, even though you don't know anything about what they're doing. That's what makes that law so sickening and unconstitutional, because it seeks to convict people when they are innocent under the disguise that you are a part of something that you are not. Well, that's my take on that there. They don't have a case. That's why they don't want them to make bond. They need them locked up, scared, and to turn each other. They building a Rico case. They never had one. We just have to wait and see how it play out. I'm signing out. Speak Van Holt.